that, so I get it.
Yep.
Certain sports that don't require, what can I say,
Right.
action that is gender specific, like a strongman sport. I don't see
Non-physical sports should be co-ed, is what you're saying.
non-physical.
Shooting,
Non-physical.
Don't put your hands in front of your
archery,
face. Thank you.
shooting, archery, those type of sports. Skill-based sports, but not physically based.
Right, because
Physical-based.
there's like scientific proof, or male bones are denser.
All right, I got one thing to say before because I know you about to go on a scientific spiel about it. But I think co-ed basketball would actually be fun to watch. I know it does not got technically the LGBTQ, but when Ice Cube just came with the Big Three, that's a whole new league. But hey, man, co-ed men versus women games, that shit will appeal to everybody and it'll pop. I already know it will.
I think the bigger issue, you're a girl dad, right?
Definitely a girl.
I'm a girl dad.
Ooh,
So how do you feel about a young man in the locker room with your daughter, any one of your daughters, at a sport?
He shouldn't be there. They have like girl and boy on the front of the damn locker room. You know what you are before you walk in that motherfucker. You should feel different when you cross that threshold.
But there are doctors that will say that people don't know what they are.
They're retarded people everywhere. Some people get doctorates and become, highly respected professionals, and then motherfuckers just retarded. As the same retarded person that was in the carpet of the hallway when we was in high school. Like, ain't no difference. They graduate, they go into the world, and they mix amongst the population, and we don't know who the fuck they are. And,
Personally, I look at it like, sport is a sport. You play based on your ability, right?
mm-hmm.
What you do in your bedroom and your personal time, is your business,
That's how
right?
it used to be.
But I guess the bigger point is drawing the lines between any groups, right? Whether it's the LGBT, whether it's nature, whether we find ourselves in all of these different boxes in our society, and so what this does is sets a precedent of how a group is going to have to, vie for resources ultimately, which is what the politics is about.
I think
the point I'm making.
When you say politics, I think it was a whole political play to make them a group so they could
Absolutely.
advocate for something that other people just. It wasn't even in their thought process. Like they've gotten more rights in a shorter period of time than African Americans have got since slavery.
And there's a power in honesty, and there's a power in being unequivocal, unintentional. Like that group, however you feel about it, doesn't tiptoe around about where they stand. When you think about melanated people, black people. We do so much tiptoeing around generally, not everybody,
Right.
but to keep your job, to keep your position. Say you might have a good position within the city structure.
We don't even have a political opinion.
People have them, we just don't hear them.
Like a coalesce one. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
But you see what them Asians did? They made up a story so they could get mad, so them motherfuckers could stand up. I said, damn, these motherfuckers done got laws passed in 15 minutes.
If you were the president or the decider, you was Klaus Schwab and being funny.
Mm-hmm.
How would you address this in the long term? What does this issue about gender, sports, look like 20 years from now?
Man, I really think they trying to make everything
How what
free
they're trying to
for
do
us.
now, what do you think it looks like 20 years from now
So,
at the rate it's
all
going?
right, so what they doing is they breaking down the norms. What used to be normal is no longer normal. COVID hit, they said this is a new normal. LGBTQ hit, it was a new normal. 9/11 hit, it was a new normal. So they've been breaking down what normal and real and culture really is. They've been breaking it all the way down. So take it to when? How far out?
20 years out.
20 years out?
We'll say you in 2030
It'll be okay for motherfuckers to have babies and they'll probably be in vending machines. You just fuck babies. Like it'll be so deteriorated that that we'll just be in the depths of hell out here.
You believe it's inevitable, or there's something like, so if we wanted to get codified on code, is it inevitable, or is there something that we can do about that to keep that from happening?
So what they did was they indoctrinated the youth with it. So they really X'd us out. They at a certain part they quit trying to influence us and change our perspectives, and said, fuck it, we're gonna double down and we're gonna drop these perspectives on the kids. So these next set of voters come up. Even though when we die out, this agenda will be set, and it'll be a machine. And they probably already have it planned out to where they want to have pedophiles being recognized as a sexual orientation. I'm just attracted to younger kids. Like, no, motherfucker, you sick, and you deserve to be dealt with.
Well, I think you're sick because you think I'm sick.
Hey,
and I got a powerful lobby behind me. What?
We can play those games.
That water is hot, and that heat is wet. What?
Yeah, well, we can play those
games. The sky's
games.
Down there, the ground is up there. What?
Hey, you come across this motherfucking threshold, I'm gonna smoke your head.
Where do you work? How do you get your money?
Yep.
You got somewhere to go to. You got a better system in place.
We gonna figure it out. We gonna win regardless. So you try your damnedest. We gonna win regardless.
So we think about this No Diddy situation. Where do you stand with that?
No Diddy is the new pause. So when you say some shit that's lightweight suspect, like, I can't believe he's standing up like that. You gotta preface it with a pause, because it sounded a little gay.
Well, so going back to this concept of new normal, on one end you want people living in their truth, right? Being honest.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hip hop. So I think about the dynamic of whatever Puff's and, like, I think about when we was growing up, Puff was like the man. So you think what this does is so many people's childhood, jumping off the porch, like, wow. And I think it's also opening, you think about Cat Williams' interview, it's opening our eyes to, like, wow, the world is not what we thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so if homosexuality wasn't a thing that was taboo, then what dirt would Puff really have on it? You know, they say it's like an Epstein type operation where he's just, you know, watching everybody, which could be true. You know, when you think about power dynamics, it would be a great way for me to control you if, like, hey, I caught you doing something that everybody out here thinks. Yeah, everybody out here likes you. They respect you. You're an upstanding man, family man.
You out here sucking cock.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but if that wasn't as taboo, then that wouldn't be something that somebody could hold over your head.
But now I understand what did he display these antics and these tactics a long time ago, and it's an old powerful play to make to break the people under you. You know what I'm saying? And he just got caught up in that same type of trope because he was probably done the same way. Now, what I truly feel is this happens a lot in Hollywood. It may not be true. I mean, it may not be right, but it happens a lot in Hollywood, and the people that was done that way tend to do others like that. Not to justify it, but I'm just saying, like, that's one way that they use what you said, putting people in compromising situations to control and manipulate people. They do it that way. They do it with drugs. They do it with your finances. They do it with the court system. Like, it's all different type of ways that they use to manipulate and manage.
At some point, he was able to get away with everything he was doing.
High profile assets. They assets, bro. They being controlled.
Tools.
Yeah,
Tools.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I think about OJ, the way he's,
chop sauce.
You know, he's gone out. It's like nobody leaves this space unscathed. It's like everything, everybody that we looked up to.
They definitely, yeah. And
you can't take away their real world work. These are legends.
Damn.
R. Kelly, at the end of the day.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby, these are people that did legendary work.
OJ.
OJ
was a bad motherfucker. I didn't grow up watching OJ, but OJ had so much of a presence and so much of a name that before I even watched the highlight clip or a film, I knew who OJ was. Now, and that was even before that white Bronco we watched as kids driving down at highway.
Where were you at?
I think I was in school, bro. I think they
We
put
were in
this shit
school.
on in school.
Yeah, we was in, I think, about 96, so this was 10th grade.
Yeah.
Mr. Pruitt's class, and all the niggas was like standing out ready, like, what's
Yeah.
this verdict gonna
You
be?
thought it was gonna be another Rodney King out there on the highway, didn't you? Shit.
But I hate to see legacies. You know, on one end, if somebody does something wrong, we all have things to answer to in our lives, right?
Right.
When you're given the responsibility and mantle of influencing the public, so whatever Puff got going on either side, any one of these people we talk about literally affects millions of human beings.
Right.
Do we want, like when I think about my daughter, I think about my son. Do you want the next generation of kids to be like, we ain't gonna listen to these niggas. We ain't gonna listen to these old niggas because you see all the old niggas they looked up to,
I feel like that's the play.
child molester, not really what they say they were. So
I feel like they don't even want kids to listen to their parents no more. Like we just there to birth the children so they can indoctrinate them and make them into a whole new type of specimen that they want to mold them into. Like parents really gotta still be parents. Like there's a lot of bullshit that they try to add in on
and when
on
people
everything.
like Diddy,
Yeah.
you know, on this Diddy topic, people like Diddy are the icons. You know, there's new generations of Diddy now. There's the NBA YoungBoy. Like, there's new people every step of the way.
He's a new Diddy.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Somebody that influences the way people,
Oh yeah.
especially
man.
young men.
The little motherfucker got influence though.
There was when Diddy was born. So we had Master P. Like, you know, our clique. We was more like the down south
Yeah.
vibe. But
yeah.
I mean, you had your Wu-Tangs, you had your West Coast.
Mhm.
Like you had these people that were influencing the young. You know, this show was talking about black men, right?
Yeah.
It influenced the mind of so many black men.
Right.
You think about Jay-Z, like it made people want to be businessmen.
Let's see if he keep his money.
He's not.
You don't think so?
He's not. You know, I don't.
FanDuel, we need a sponsorship. We need to put this bet in. Will Jay-Z have all that bread in 10 years?
We won't have any of the popular black billionaires that we know today. We won't have them in 10 years.
No.
We won't have them in 10 years, and I don't see a large group.
You think it's because they're too vocal and they're too out in front of the public, or do you think so that makes them a target? Or do you think they could have been behind the scenes and kept their bread?
Once you're at a certain level, you can't hide anymore.
Right.
You can't hide anymore. I know what you're worth. I know what you got, and you know.
The Robert Smiths of the world.
Yeah. And you can be, you know, they're saying Diddy is staying at home, you know, like he's not moving, but the reason he's doing that is because he knows he's under investigation, but he's safe.
Yeah.
Because there's people that don't want him talking about, you know, whatever he knows.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, I'm just safe. I'm going to just stay here in my little space.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know all of y'all are watching me, but as you're watching, make sure nobody comes and Jeffrey Epstein's me. But
Shit, the people that's hanging around, one of them's gonna be the one that gets the call, like the mob.
And so
like,
think about it. Think about
be your
it.
best friend that does it.
I can have this little immoral thing that you did, Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can say.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit here and act like I'm a billionaire, act like everything's cool. But I know if I speak the wrong way, there's somebody sitting in my closet. When I go home, every home I got,
Yeah.
I can be had.
Yeah.
And so going back to this concept of either I'm going to get you through something you did, sodomy or sexual,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll just flat out murk you. I'll flat out unalive you. And so when we think about moving this ball forward in this space, going back to what we were saying with the LGBTQ, they're powerful because they represent what they represent, and they stick with it.
But
they don't tiptoe around.
It's gonna take a strong conservative stance to combat that. Like if
I'm not saying combat them. I'm saying overcome that dynamic of where our heroes get caught up in what does Nori say, the doors, either the sodomite or sexual door, or you got to spill some blood.
Yeah.
And I think he said there's a door you go just straight through where, hey, you're on your own.
Right.
And Cat Williams alluded to that, like, hey, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's a lot of success stories that we'll never hear about that have just gone through the straight door.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like I said, these people, your NBA young boys, your Diddies, they influence millions of human beings that don't necessarily listen to a show like this,
Right.
or aren't into, you know, the esoteric meaning of things.
Yeah.
They just see things for what it is, so they're being influenced.
Oh yeah.
And so you have
That's
daughters.
That's
I
their
have a daughter.
job. They definitely trying to steal the youth.
What are the males that I want available for my daughter? What are the females available for my son? You know, and that eats at me.
But you know what the crazy part is when you grow is when you see these little motherfuckers, man. They good though. Like these little boys out there, they striving just as hard as them little girls are. You know what I'm saying? Like they
just as hard.
They striving just as hard, bro. These like not just with the sports either. Like they in our generation they push us on just to do the sports, but they a double-edged sword, bro. They academically and physically inclined. Like so, like you said, what do I want my daughter to pick up on and see and value in these little boys? Like I hope she sees me and them little boys. Like motherfucker, we gonna go get it regardless. However hard you try to stop me is gonna be just if I can exceed that, I'm gonna win regardless. And that's just how I go about it.
Are the components in place to create young males like that? A groundswell where your daughter's got a choice. Well, my daughter got a choice.
We got a couple of local organizations that's coming up. What Divine's got going on with the One Lex program, and we got a lot of nonprofits popping up around that actually are reaching out and helping the youth. What was you about to say?
You said nonprofits, and so I get why nonprofits exist, right? Okay, I'm not really selling you a product, but there's a service that's needed. But when we're going back to this Diddy concept of...
we still on Diddy?
Yeah. Because it ties into so many areas of everything. This is a flashpoint in history.
Gotcha.
So,
for real?
It's a flashpoint in history.
He's Epstein. Epstein's more.
He's bigger than Epstein. Nobody knew who Epstein was.
We've heard about that
Puffy,
shit. No, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones influenced more human beings on planet Earth. He is electrified, whether through music he's on, artists he's put out,
all right,
liquors.
Now let me tell you the flip
clothes.
side. The flip side is Epstein. What Diddy did, Epstein did to officials and politicians.
Diddy did too.
Well, you're right, but these people I feel like are more influential into how your daily government is going to run versus he is influences how the culture is going to see you and what's portrayed as culture.
What has more power in an ice storm? When all the electricity go down, where's more power, in the White House or in the streets across America?
I got that. I see what you're doing there.
So culture is what drives everything.
But the lights are on.
The lights are on, but you know the point is, what do they say? The power is in the people, and if the people are influenced by whatever artist, whatever visuals, Diddy, it isn't just Sean Combs; it's what he represents.
Shit, the power's with the power. We're seeing that in Palestine, because the people all over the world are standing up and saying that they not cool with what Palestine, what Israel's doing to Palestine. The genocide that they portraying on those people, you know what I'm saying? So the power is not with the people. The power is with the pen, and them people that's making them laws and them.
So as above, so below. So we get into the meat of it. The same dynamic exists with Diddy. Same dynamic exists with the nonprofit. With what we're talking about, and so with Diddy. There's a power that I maintain because I have this evidence on you of something you did. With Israel, so we think that's when you get into economics.
Because they doing the bidding of the U.S. over there.
Economics. They affect the political economics.
And
they can hold stuff over people's head. Hey, your country won't get fed, right?
That's exactly what they do.
Don't,
that's what sanctions is.
Exactly. And so when we, like I said, addressing Palestine's issue, challenge will be the same literally mindset of addressing our own, will be the same as addressing any group that's marginalized or underfunded or resourced. But it comes to that point of there's always the concept of talented tenth that they benefit from this shit being like this, right? They're able to feed their kids. They're able to, get a relatively comfortable life. And this will be your ditties. This will be the people that go along with it until you see that they get all broken at the end. So I'm like, can the generation now see that, hey, taking on these roles that undermine your own always end up getting broken? And so it's like, how do we strategize to move forward? Since we see that, hey, if I pay you, then I can lay you. I can if I'm the one feeding you, then I can starve you.
Right.
And so it's like, at what point do we do the heavy lifting of, okay, we got to learn how to grow gardens again?
There we go.
Literally and metaphorically speaking, we got to start at the seed of everything.
We got to plant our own seeds, because every time and anytime we making ourselves relying on somebody outside of ourselves or outside of our community, we're going to be able to be exploited. The same way the government exploits us, the same way that gatekeeper exploits us, the same way our employer exploits us. And yeah, so what you said, being able to get sustainability, whether it be growing your own food, generating your own energy, or coming up with a way to feed yourself and coming up with making your own jobs. So, we big components about entrepreneurship around here, and me and Ike, we've been working together for a little bit. We started out with the organization called HERO, Hometown Environmental
Restoration Operation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was that, 2008? And so that's when Obama was, 2007. That's when Obama was running for president. We had this concept of sustainability, and we were just so optimistic. Oh man, we got a nigga in the White House. Exactly. He gets it.
Boy, we thought it was on.
We got it right.
We'd have been up right by now.
That rabbit hole took us to a whole different dimension of manhood, of politics, of culture, of opportunities.
Absolutely.
We have a huge opportunity fixing our problem.
You're right, and those opportunities is what brought us to right now. That's why we're making this podcast, because we want to be able to give our perspective on a couple of topics that you never really get the black male perspective on. We represent we good friends, but we represent different dynamics of the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a little older than you. I think I lean more traditional.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, and not everything new is bad. So I feel like we give a good balance on topics, and that's why we created a podcast of what you said, just to understand that we can come to a common ground, and we can see eye to eye, and we can acknowledge that, and yeah.
What you said,
my brother. All right.